lived in that bunker there for a couple months.
The toughest duty this decorated soldier faced came 60 days before he set foot on the battlefield in Vietnam.
It was a defining event, I have to tell you.
At age 25, just before his combat tour, the Army assigned Jack DeRouge the job of telling families their loved ones died in battle.
And what about the family members? I mean, lives shattered forever.
It was the late 60s, and with no formal training, no chaplain, one of the first doors DeRouge knocked on belonged to a fellow soldier on leave in Hawaii. His brother, Henry Tews, was a 22-year-old pilot shot down and killed on a rescue mission.
Saw me in uniform, that same reaction. I could just see it in his face and the tears welling up in the eyes.
The Army captain turned away from DeRouge and picked up the phone to call his parents.
And he said, I'm going to bring Hank home. And I thought about that. He's going to take his brother's body home and then get on an airplane and go back and finish his tour, which is what he did. And I thought, now there is a commitment of a soldier that most civilian people would never understand. I mean, something he had to do. 68 and 69, we had 11,000 killed in each of those years.
In speeches about his service to civilians and fellow veterans, this retired Major General tells that story.
A 19-year-old draftee named of Alvin Ho.
And he shares another about a different soldier killed in action.
Nervous as can be, I didn't know what to expect. Knocked on the door, and Mr. Ho comes to the door, and he took one look at me in uniform, and immediately his eyes welled up in tears. He knew I was there before I said a word. And he yelled at me, and he said, "Why did you send my son to Vietnam?" And I looked at him and I said, "Sir, I'm sorry for your loss, but I don't know your son. I never knew him." And immediately those words hit me as, boy, that was a stupid thing to say. Those were hollow words, meaningless to him. And I remember walking away from that just absolutely shattered.
But the casualty date lines up.
Oh, yeah.
Online, we found the first picture of Alvin Ho General DeRouge had seen in decades.
Wow, that's amazing.
He recalled repairing his relationship with the Ho family, attending Alvin's funeral, and looking back on that experience as a revealing example of the true cost of war.
And one of the things that taught me was, you know, when I look at the names on the wall, 58,000 names, you really got to multiply that by a factor of 5 to 10. It's not 58,000. It's maybe 580,000 lives that were shattered with that experience. And that's not visible in the wall.